Arsenal drew 1-1 with Everton on Saturday in the game before our biggest game of the season against Real Madrid. Was there anything that we learned? It was a heavy rotated squad. Was there anything that we learned? It was a heavily rotated side. Disappointing second half for the most part, but nothing too much that worries me for this game. The main thing, no one came out injured, and we saw Ben White get some minutes. We saw Kiwior Timber get minutes, which is encouraging for me. So this Monday morning, I'm just going to give my feelings and my thoughts currently, the day before the game, give my early predictions for the predicted XI, how I think the game might go, how Arsenal can do, and then obviously I'll get into a deeper preview later on today, hopefully with Steph talking about what we actually think is going to go in the game and what we feel, predictions and such like. But yeah, obviously Mikel will take the side on Saturday. He brought in Sterling, Trossard, he brought in Kiwior, obviously off the back of him not starting against Fulham. Also Ben White from the start as well as Jorginho. So we saw rests. You saw Martinelli get a rest. We saw Partey, Timber, Odegaard get a rest as well. And I thought in that first half it was quite good. Arsenal encouraging despite a lot of changes. I felt like we were playing some good football in moments. Obviously, it wasn't always going to be fluid. We saw Declan Rice playing on the right instead of on the left, and Marino dropping back into the midfield instead of playing strike that he's been playing for the last 10 or so games. But I think there were some good moments, and we're winning the ball back high, transitioning early. He had that chance with Trossard that he almost scored from, and then also obviously the chance that he did score from with some good play from Sterling. It was poor, on the upside of the second half, the way we started the second half. But come on, man, it wasn't a penalty. And story of our season, last couple of years to be fair, but definitely this season, PJ Morel has really fucked Arsenal. Excuse my language. And yeah, obviously with the title race all but done. Obviously Liverpool did lose against Fulham yesterday, which kind of I don't know if it burnt more because I still feel like the title's done. There's 7 games left, but could have made things interesting. But Arsenal didn't do enough to reply after that, poor penalty that they gave against Lewis Skelly, which wasn't a penalty, which we've seen these things happen so many times, not just to Arsenal. I'm not trying to make it about Arsenal. It happens to a lot of teams. We saw just to Liverpool the other day, that red card from Tarkowski. We saw the same thing challenge happen against Liverpool against Fulham for the penalty from Kelleher. Like it happens all the time. It's just poor. But Arsenal didn't do enough to react. But I did see some encouraging signs from some of the subs. Martinelli came on, he looked a bit lively. Tierney came on, looked lively as well, which was interesting. I was a bit disappointed with Martin Odegaard's performance when he came on. He could have had the chance to score. He has been looking a bit out of himself, and if not for not having more players in the squad or more players of the quality and the skill traits he has, I might have rotated him out for this Real Madrid game. We will see. Mikel, I do feel like was trying to see certain things, that midfield three of more like robust midfield. Maybe he's thinking more about the away game at the Bernabeu and seeing how we might, match up. One year we couldn't really get into the game. Kind of was felt like we're isolated. I could tell there's no chemistry between him and Ben White. I feel like Sterling played a bit better, but that's not saying much. I think this was one of Trossard's better games. Great finish from him. If anyone's putting their name into that hat, into that basket for being picked on Tuesday, I definitely think he's one of them. And obviously Kiwior as well had a man of the match performances given on TNT. He played very, very well. Obviously, I'm still a bit skeptical for him going up against the like of Mbappe, that turn of pace, that skill set, and just different type of plays, not even a physical striker. But at the same time, if anybody wanted to have an encouraging performance to give you confidence, give the fans confidence, a manager confidence going into a game where either him or Ben White is going to need to be played, you got to play like that. And I'm proud of him. It's very, very quality, just his draws and on the ball. I think Kiwior could be argued he's probably a bit better than Gabriel. His passing, long range passing in behind defenses and stuff can be very key. If Real Madrid do play a higher line and we have the likes of Martinelli, and also just his passes into the midfield, he's very, very comfortable on the ball. When he's on the ball, I'm comfortable with Kiwior. It's more, when the ball's in the air and stuff, having that assertive decision making, which begs the question, obviously, Kiwior or Ben White. Obviously, Ben White played right back in that game, played only I think it was about 50 minutes or so. It was okay. It wasn't bad, it wasn't necessarily good, but I'm just happy to see that he got through the game fine. Would I take a 75% fit Ben White that hasn't played that many games this season or haven't played that many games instead of the season over Kiwior? $100 million question. I probably will. I think I'm very more confident in Ben White and his abilities, plus what he gives us on the ball in terms of his leadership as well. But just in terms of him playing that centre position, someone that Saliba may trust. But off the back of Kiwior's performance, I'm not really worried who does play. Going into Madrid, they did obviously suffer a defeat to Valencia. I think it was a last-minute goal that they conceded, but it was a game that I've watched. They had conceded numerous amount of chances, obviously, which is just the theme for Real Madrid's season this year. Obviously, despite them having the quality in individuals in attack to win them games, and obviously they are in the title race in the Liga, only a couple of points off Barcelona. They still conceded a lot of chances. They could concede a lot of goals. They conceded 4 against Real Sociedad in the Copa del Rey before obviously they won in extra time, but still. Like, if I'm Arsenal, I'm encouraged. Like, I don't think Real Madrid's presses are snappy. I don't think they play like a low block. I don't think that the defense is as good, especially the players they will have available. I think Ferland Mendy is injured. I think they're going to be playing Valverde probably at right back, and they have Asensio, who's a quality player, but he's young. Do you know what I mean? And they're not going to be playing a natural number 6. Tchouameni's out of the game. Probably Camavinga does go in there. Quality player, I do love him. But, you know, they probably have to use someone like Luka Modric. Excellent footballer in that ilk, or Jorginho's in his ilk, you know, that older player that uses their brain to play, don't need the physicality. But against Arsenal's powerhouse midfield, at home, buzzing Emirates, I think we will get a lot more joy. And with the likes of Saka, Martinelli back, Martinelli looking like himself, Saka, obviously I like that he wasn't involved in the game. We didn't mention his name because I wanted to be fit and raring to go. And Mourinho, I'm getting to that. Mourinho looks confident. He's having some of his best performances in the Arsenal shirt. I think against Fulham, he was quality. Against Everton, dropping back into the midfield, it was nice to see him back in his natural position, playing well. So I'll be encouraged, whether it's him playing up in the 9, whether it's Trossard, who did get the goal, looked good in the false 9, or maybe we might see a change. Maybe Mourinho drops into the midfield, and maybe Rice plays 6. Maybe Partey doesn't get a game, but if Partey not featuring at all against Everton, I do suspect that he will be coming in back against Madrid, and he is our best 6, especially ball playing. So I do want to see him there. I think Arsenal can be more confident. Arsenal fans need to be a bit more confident. I see a lot of people have a defeatist mentality. A lot of people saying, "Oh, they want to see something on Saturday." It gives them encouragement for Plan B, something different. But with a rotated side, what much are you going to expect from the team that's probably going to play against Tuesday to do? Like, I think people kind of get a bit, do you know what I mean? And the one criticism I've always said, or I haven't necessarily said, but I will say about Mikel Arteta this season and Arsenal is just our style of play, the football that we're playing, the slow-paced passing. I do hear Mikel sometimes on the TV say pass the ball faster, but sometimes the players take too long, and it's about the direction in which you're passing the ball faster. Passing the ball amongst the, across the back line without getting pressed fast is fine, but when you want to break through the lines and play for the middle, you want to play with a bit more pace, a bit more quickness and inventiveness that kind of opens up spaces and pulls players out of position. We haven't done that as much this season. We can blame that for a number of things. Injuries have a factor, but I just think in general, every player that comes in and plays this kind of slow, controlled way, which I like, because I feel like we don't really give teams anything. I was watching a Liverpool game and they have a lot of basketball matches. It opens up because they have better quality players that probably finish their chances, but in games where you're not facing that same level of quality or clinical finishing, what can happen? So I think ultimately tomorrow we're probably going to see the back four, obviously Timber, Lewis Skelly left back, right back, Saliba, and probably Ben White, Ryan goal. Probably going to see Partey, Rice, Odegaard, and probably Saka, Martinelli, Marino. I will do a proper preview for this game later on today and give my it on the screen, give my thoughts and some discussions hopefully with Steph. And I think we can win this leg. I think a lot of people are going to be surprised on how this game's going to go. Not a lot of people watch Real Madrid, and you can tell from the rhetoric where people are just using aura and players and stuff like that, and kind of looking at Arsenal and our lack of those kind of world-class players in attack, and not really looking at this in terms of how the team plays, the 90 minutes, the tactics. I think Arsenal are very built to kind of defend Real Madrid well and also attack the spaces with the way we rotate our players and the way we play. I think it can cause a lot of confusion, especially with a heavily rotated Real Madrid side as well. So I'm very happy. It's one of a main game that I'm going to be locked into. That has been a couple of weeks of, not stalemates, but games where, I'm not saying it doesn't matter, but off the back of international break where we had just 2 weeks and then obviously the Fulham game, just getting ready for this Madrid game. It's finally arriving, and I hope we see a quality performance from the boys, quality performance from Mikel, and in terms of the motivation, the setup, the tactics, the edits in game. And I need to see every player stand up. Martin Odegaard, I don't care how your season's been going. This is your old team, your own stuff in ground. The team that didn't give you faith, ball out on them. Martinelli, you're looking lively. Now turn that into goal. Saka, you're back. Do what you need to do. Marino, show them what you got. About this team. Rice, Partey, do your thing. Saliba, forget what people are talking about. His announcing party and his game coming up. Forget all that stuff. Just ball out, play well, get your win, and go to the Bernabeu. I think it's next week or the week after, with an opportunity to go to the semi-finals, knocking out the best team in this competition. Well, in terms of the history. So yeah, that's just my thoughts. I'll be back for a preview. Subscribe and to my channel. Comment down below anything you think or agree or disagree with this video, like this video. I'm on the road to 1,000 subs. Catch you guys in the next video. Peace.